The University of Colorado is one of the best colleges in the nation. They are a member of the AAU. They have an amazing football tradition when it comes to Ralphie storming the field before the football team, and their stadium looks out onto the Rocky Mountains. Yet since the 90s, the program has really struggled and has seen a revolving door of coaches. That looks to be changing with Colorado hiring Deion Sanders to be their next head coach. Since his arrival back in December, a once dead program looks primed to have a very successful run soon. But how did things fall apart for Colorado, and what does Coach Prime bring that makes him seem like the guy who could fix it? Stay tuned to find out. The University of Colorado began playing football in 1890, playing as an independent until 1892, when they joined the Colorado Football Association, which consisted of Colorado, Colorado Mines, Colorado College, Colorado Agriculture, which would turn into Colorado State, and Denver. The conference was mainly dominated by the Buffs and Colorado Mines. The Ore Diggers won 10 conference titles, while the Buffs won 7 conference titles. The only 2 other members to win the conference title were Colorado College and Denver. In 1909, the University of Colorado, Colorado State College of Agriculture and Mechanical Arts, Colorado A&M, now Colorado State University, Colorado College, and the Colorado School of Mines formed the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, aka the RMAC, with Denver and Utah joining the conference in 1910, and Colorado College dropping out after falling out with Colorado Mines. While a member of the RMAC, the Buffs won 9 conference titles. In 1937, Colorado joined the Mountain State Athletic Conference with Colorado State, Brigham Young, Utah, Utah State, Wyoming, and Denver. The Buffs would win 4 conference titles before leaving the conference in 1947 to join the Big Six Conference. The Big Six Conference would later become the Big Seven Conference and then the Big Eight Conference. The Buffs would go 17 years without winning a conference title, finally winning one under Sonny Grandillas after a 9-2 record in 1961, where they went 7-0 in conference play. It would then be another 15 years until the Buffs won their second Big Eight title in 1976 under Bill Mallory after going 8-4 and 5-2 in conference, becoming co-champions. The Buffs would end the 70s and begin the 80s going 7-26, but everything would turn around for the program when Bill McCartney took over as head ball coach in Boulder. The former Bo Schembechler assistant hired hard-working recruiters like Jim Caldwell, Gary Barnett, Les Miles, Steve Logan, Gary DiNardo, and Bob Simmons. Under McCartney, the staff wrote handwritten notes and showed up to recruits' homes with the whole staff. The first 3 seasons started off rough for the Buffs under McCartney, going 7-25-1, but Bill strung together strong recruiting classes during that time period, luring guys like Darian Hagan and J.J. Flanagan from USC's doorstep, and Williams and Canavius McGahee from Houston, while the Southwest Conference was scandal-ridden. According to The Athletic's Stuart Mandel's piece, How Did the Colorado Buffaloes Decline from NFL Pipeline to the Pac-12 Cellar Dweller?, DiNardo recalled visiting a running back recruit's home where McCartney lined up 4 kitchen chairs back to back to back to back, then crouched down behind them to show how far down the depth chart he'd be at a more established program than Colorado. He'd say, "You could go to Southern Cal, but they've got a really good roster. My experience is you get better by playing." Although there were controversies surrounding the program as the 80s came to a close, like 24 players getting arrested over a 3-year time period, winning solves everything. Behind Hagan, Flanagan, and future Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, the Buffaloes went 11-0 in the 1989 regular season, winning their first outright Big 8 championship since 1961. They went into the Orange Bowl as the #1 ranked team in the country, would lose to #4 Notre Dame 21-6. The 1990 season saw the infamous 5th down to beat Missouri and a win to avenge their loss to Notre Dame in Miami to finish the season 11-1-1 and the #1 ranked team in the AP poll, sharing the national title with the UPI coaches poll pick 11-0-1 Georgia Tech. Former Colorado quarterback and Fox Sports analyst Joel Klatt told The Athletic, "Colorado is a place that found itself atop the mountain and didn't realize how precarious its spot was on top of that mountain." In 1991, Colorado went 8-3-1 and won a share of the Big 8 conference title, while 1992 saw the Buffs go 9-2-1, where they lost the Fiesta Bowl. In 1993, the Buffs went 8-3-1, winning the Aloha Bowl, and in 1984, Colorado found itself finishing ranked in the top 5 once again, going 11-1, winning the Fiesta Bowl, and finishing ranked 3rd in the country. McCartney stunned the community by retiring after the 1994 regular season finale, and 33-year-old offensive coordinator Gary Neuheisel was promoted to take over as head coach. Neuheisel found early success leading the Buffs to back-to-back 10-2 records and recruiting some of the best classes in the nation. In 1996, the Big 8 expanded to the Big 12 with the additions of Baylor, Texas, Texas A&M, and Texas Tech. Neuheisel told The Athletic, "We were fortunate at the time when we were recruiting that Texas was a little down, so we were able to get a lot of guys from Texas." The Buffs would fall to 5-6 and 8-4 in 1997 and 1998. Then Neuheisel shocked Colorado by taking a raise to go to Washington, which started to show cracks in the Buffs foundation. Colorado would turn to another former McCartney offensive coordinator when they chose to hire Gary Barnett. After leaving Colorado to become the head coach at Northwestern, where he led a dormant program to consecutive Big Ten titles. The Barnett era started off strong, with the signing of in-state running back Marcus Houston, among others. During the 2001 season, Colorado made a late-season run to win the Big 12 championship, memorably embarrassing number 1 Nebraska 62-36 on Thanksgiving weekend, then upsetting number 3 Texas in the conference title game. In a controversial BCS outcome, 11-1 Nebraska beat out the 10-2 Buffaloes by a few decimal points for a spot in the national championship. Colorado went to the Fiesta Bowl, losing to a Joey Harrington-led Oregon. Between the conference title game and bowl game, scandal hit the Colorado program, which altered the program's image for an extended period of time and saw Barnett put on an administrative leave for 3 months and saw both President Betsy Hoffman and Athletic Director Dick Tharp lose their jobs. For more details, make sure to check out Stuart Mandel's piece in the description below. Mandel writes, "Today, that period is described in the Football Media Guide thusly. The ordeal, centered on a lawsuit, perpetuated several untruths about the football program, many manufactured and accelerated by news side media and a hired public relations firm by the plaintiffs. The situation led to the university putting in place restrictive recruiting policies that limited official visits to one night and forbade prospects from staying with players. Barnett led the Buffs to back-to-back Big 12 North titles, but watched as Oklahoma's Bob Stoops and Texas's Mack Brown have their programs rolling at this point. Barnett was fired by the new athletic director Mike Bohn shortly after a Vince Young-led Texas throttled the Buffs 70-3 in the 2005 conference championship. Defensive coordinator Mike Hankwitz told The Athletic, "The Big 12 is obviously more competitive than the Big 8, and I don't think Colorado is an easy place to win. You just don't have the rabid fan support overall like you have in Texas, Oklahoma, or Nebraska." Barnett would be the last winning head coach at Colorado. Former Boise State head coach Dan Hawkins was chosen to replace Barnett. Hawkins had led Boise State to a 53-11 record as a member of the WAC. This was originally viewed as a big splash, but that mindset would not last for long. According to Mandel, Colorado had gone from signing a top 20 classes to ones ranked in the low 40s. Hawkins briefly turned things around, landing in-state 5-star offensive lineman Ryan Miller in 2007 and 5-star California running back Darryl Scott in 2008. His second team went 6-6 and reached the Independence Bowl, losing to Nick Saban's first Alabama team. After that, Colorado would endure 3 losing seasons, with many believing that Hawkins struggled to adapt to the Power 5 football level. He also seemingly alienated his staff and scared potential quarterback recruits away after starting his son Cody for most of his 4 seasons. Miller told The Athletic, "You had coaches who didn't see eye to eye on certain things. You could tell there was frustration inside the meeting rooms. We just had a countless carousel of assistants. It's hard to have any cohesion as a team." Hawkins now admits he needed a better plan when he got to Colorado. Hawkins survived a 3-9 season that saw the Buffs lose to Toledo 54-38 on a Friday night. In 2010, Hawkins was fired after Colorado blew a 45-17 fourth quarter lead to Kansas. Colorado looked for greener grass when they joined the Pac-12, but this would result in one of the worst stretches for Colorado football since the 80s. Eric Bieniemy and John Embry were both interviewed for the Colorado job, with Embry getting the job and naming Bieniemy as his offensive coordinator. They tried to implement a pro-style offense, but failed miserably, going 3-10 in 2011, losing 45-2 to Oregon and 45-6 to UCLA. The following year, they finished 1-11, losing to Fresno State 69-14, USC 50-6, and Oregon 70-14. After the season, Embry was dismissed as head coach. Chad Brown told The Athletic, John Embry is a very good coach, well respected in NFL circles, but there were certain moves I didn't think really aligned with understanding the landscape. You can win with a pro-style attack if you're Alabama and you're bigger and better and stronger, but you didn't go with an offensive system that would give your limited personnel a chance. Mendel wrote last year, Embry became the third coach athletic director Bowen had to let go in a span of 7 years, but this decision, finding a revered Colorado alum and the school's first black head coach after 2 seasons, proved highly divisive. Many felt they did Embry dirty. Bowen was fired a few months later, but was still able to hire San Jose State's head coach Mike McIntyre, before being shown the door. McIntyre had turned San Jose State's program around, leading a 1-2 school to a 10-2 record by the 3rd season. He wanted a commitment from the school that they would do more for the program. One of McIntyre's contract demands was written assurance that the school would upgrade its outdated athletic facilities. A $156 million renovation project began the next year. Though it took longer in San Jose, McIntyre orchestrated a similarly remarkable turnaround, leading Colorado from the depths of the Embry experiment to 10 wins and a Pac-12 South title in 2016. The Buffaloes finished 17th in the AP poll, their first top 25 finish in 14 years, and McIntyre won virtually every National Coach of the Year award. But the team was very senior heavy, and the bus quickly fell back to 5-7 for 2 seasons in a row, before McIntyre was shown the door. McIntyre told The Athletic, "There's a lot of good support there, but you wouldn't say it's in the top 20 of college football supporting areas, and the Pac-12 is just not as well resourced as a couple other major conferences they're trying to compete against. It's harder to reload in that situation." New athletic director Rick George felt Colorado could do better. George decided to bring in Mel Tucker, who was a defensive coordinator under Kirby Smart, to bring in an SEC mentality to recruiting. Tucker got right to work, bringing in one of the best recruiting classes the Buffs had ever seen since joining the Pac-12, although they went 5-7. That offseason though, Michigan State came in and doubled Tucker's salary to lure him away from Boulder. Carl Durrell was brought in to replace Tucker, but came in right as the events of 2020 started in March. During the 2020 season, the Buffs went 4-2, losing the Alamo Bowl, but would go 4-8 in 2021, and after an 0-5 start in 2022, Durrell was let go. He had brought in one of Colorado's best recruiting classes in 2022, but watched as 23 players transferred out of the program going into last season. The Buffs were blown out in a majority of their games last season and finished the year 1-11. The man hired to replace Durrell? Prime-time Deion Sanders. Deion has found success with everything he has done. As a player, he won multiple Super Bowls and is a member of both the College Football and Pro Football Hall of Fame. He also found some success in baseball, even playing in the 1992 World Series for the Atlanta Braves. He started his coaching career at Prime Prep Academy, a school which he co-founded. He then coached at AAA Academy for 2 seasons before taking over as Trinity High School's offensive coordinator, where he coached his sons Shiloh and Shador. In September of 2021, he took over as Jackson State's head football coach, an HBCU I did a video on a little over a year ago, where he brought in headline after headline. He led Jackson State to back-to-back Celebration Bowls, but failed to win the big game. He finished his Jackson State coaching career with a 27-6 record and an even better record on the recruiting trail, bringing in the top recruit in the 2022 cycle, Travis Hunter. He has also done some great work off the field as well. What makes the Colorado job so tough is the fact that it's a state that is not known for being a recruiting pipeline. Many felt that Colorado hurt themselves by moving to the Pac-12, losing their foothold in Texas. They don't really have a rivalry set up out west like they did in the Big 12 as well, and they really don't have the full support of their administration. Newheisel explained, like Oklahoma State found Boone Pickens, like Phil Knight became the guy at Oregon, Colorado has got to find a mega donor who really wants to become the pseudo-owner of the Colorado Buffaloes, because they're out there. It's a very complex job, but it seems like with the Deion Sanders hire, the school and donors are buying in. When Deion got to Boulder, he got right to work. He has overhauled the roster already, taking it to the next level. He has added at least 42 scholarship players since his arrival in December. Coach Prime has been able to use his personality and background to convince players to join him for the rebuild in Boulder. He was able to bring in Travis Hunter, the #1 player in the transfer portal, and 5-star Cormani McLean from Florida. They finished with the 5th best recruiting class in the Pac-12 and look to build on that in the future. This success was expected by him and his staff. Sanders told the media, "Everyone is playing their role and they're doing a phenomenal job and I love it. I absolutely love it. I wish you could see us recruit. We have a commitment to excellence and it's working and we're winning. We're ecstatic about the potential and we're just getting started. He could be adding even more players as well when the transfer portal reopens in May again. Sanders told the media, "Hope has been reestablished. I truly believe. I think it's been there, but sometimes you need to light that switch of hope. And hope is in the house. Hope is in the air. Hope is in the city. Hope is in the community. Hope is within you all in the news media. And you want to write good stuff. You don't want to write bad stuff. Colorado is a national name again, and ticket sales are skyrocketing with more and more people buying into the dream Deion is pitching." McCartney showed that you could find success in Colorado. Midway through the 1998 NFL football season, they had the third most active NFL players. They were a pipeline to the league and were a national name. Deion looks to bring back that same type of success in Boulder. Just remember though that this was a team that went 1-11 this past season. So a bowl game this season is a massive step in the right direction. But what do you think? Will Deion Sanders bring Colorado football back to the national stage? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos right here. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe for more college football content. Thank you so much for watching. I could not be more thankful for y'all. You all make this possible for me. And as always, remember to embrace the grind.